All right, welcome back. It's weird. It's been a couple months. It's been like what, dude? I don't even remember the last time we recorded. Actually,
It's been too long.
it's been a while.
The fact that we don't remember the last.
You guys don't remember because you guys were high.
You're right. It was.
Yeah,
it was
but-
actually 420. It was a very
The last time we got
episode.
into the podcast, you guys
So
were
we had
blitzed.
the bright idea to record an episode and engage in some recreational marijuana, but nobody that was on the podcast really smokes. So we shared one. It was a joint, right? We
Yeah.
shared one joint.
It was fucking fat, bro. It was like
Everyone was.
wrapped in keef, bro. Like
One
everything.
joint
Yeah.
doozy each and every one. Well, how much was the rotation? How many people?
One, two,
Dude, we
it was
took-
4 or 5 people.
and we each took like
One joint
we didn't even
dome
finish
4 or 5 people.
We didn't even finish it, bro.
Yeah, we didn't finish it.
We each took like one hit,
Dude,
Or no, 3 hits.
We smoked it. We came back inside, and we started dropping like flies, dude. Like one person
One
tapped
person
out,
goes to sleep.
and then the other person's like, "Oh, let me go check on them," and they never come back.
in a span of 20 minutes, bro. It was insane.
That's gnarly.
It's
That is
insane.
very gnarly. Well,
But we're back, and we're here to entertain. Hopefully, you might be wondering who's sitting next to us.
yeah, the guy's been talking about weed with them. The name is Joshua Cevallos. Born and raised here in Modesto, California. Great to have me back. I've now resided in the Bay Area, San Francisco. I've just gotten back of my tour of being in San Diego, Los Angeles for the past 5 years. I own a fashion designer brand. I'm a fashion designer now. I make clothes. I make people look damn good. So that is what I do. That is what I do as a profession. It all started out when I was a retail kid making minimum wage, and I said,
Where were you working?
I started out Men's Warehouse
Oh, okay.
at Vintage Fair.
There
So,
you go. Dude,
That was the one.
Homegrown.
prom season was probably wild there, huh?
Dude, okay, so yeah, about that was I wasn't even a salesman. I wasn't even a salesman. How
were
crazy
you?
is that? I was your tuxedo rentalist. When you came in for prom, guess who guess who you were seeing?
okay.
You were seeing me. And so I eventually started asking the smart question of, are you a freshman, are you a sophomore, or upperclassman like
Yeah.
a normal prom kid? Anyone that was an upperclassman, I'd be like, yo, you're going to be back at prom in about the next couple years. Go buy a suit. Don't bother me.
Yeah.
It's so simple as that. Long story short, that job ended because manager fired me. And he told me, I will never be a salesman in the fashion force.
Oh,
That's funny. That's very, very funny now, right?
What was his reasoning though?
Well, I mean, I was late all the damn time, so
I mean,
there's that. I
Kinda
just
makes
was like,
sense.
this job is bullshit halfway through, and
Yeah.
then but Josh needed a job at the time, and then I realized, okay, and finally I offered the question of like, hey man, clearly I'm making sales and I don't even sell stuff in this company, so can I be a salesman? He just pulled me aside. I was like, Josh, as far as work ethic and not being on time, you also will probably never be a salesman. And I was just like, guys have been here for years. You're a new 18, 19-year-old kid, not a chance. So I was like, this is
Outta here.
sayonara.
that's my cue.
Here's my cue, get out. And so, funny enough, like 2 months after that, I actually ended up in San Diego. And
What? Sorry to interrupt, but
oh, you're good.
why San Diego out of all the places?
Random, I know. So a lot of people don't know is I'm an avid ex-baseball player. I love baseball.
Yeah, you were one of those bullies at Enoch.
Yeah, let's not Knox, guys. Let's not talk about that.
Knox baseball.
Knox baseball, lifted trucks. Yeah. Funny enough,
Dude, I remember you had a lifted truck.
yeah, of course you fucking didn't. I mean, of course I had a lifted truck, and like to talk about that being back in town, I have to like let people know. And that's I was 10, 6, 8, whatever years ago, but where were we? What were we talking about prior?
Baseball.
Baseball, yeah. See, I took a dab prior before this too, so 420s for me every day. But baseball, as far as that, I was an avid baseball player, and travel ball for me when I was playing for the team of NorCal, and it was a very, very well maintained travel team. Most of the kids here in the Central Valley ended up playing for them, if you're even remotely good. As you all know, up here the weather sucks.
Right.
Fall, winter, yeah.
What do you mean?
yeah.
It's terrible. Yeah, what the heck seasons? And so for a baseball kid, that's horrible. You get 3 months out of the year to play the game you love, and you gotta try to get better. So
Yeah.
my parents kudos to them. Love you guys. But they shipped me off to San Diego or any place that had sun 24/7 for a host family or anyone that wanted a pitcher on their team in SoCal.
Right.
So San Diego quickly became home. I was the 14, 15, 16-year-old kid after the game. Like, what the hell is he going to do in downtown San Diego, And so I'd walk the streets of Market Street or walk to Petco Park or catch a game. Or, long story short, San Diego became home. Mm-hmm. And so I told myself one day and looked mom and dad in the eye, one day I'm going to live here. And I don't mean like here in the county. I mean like here dead ass in the center of the city.
Yeah.
Like here. If I'm venturing around the city, I want to live in the city. And so fast forward, I ended up living right in the city. So, yeah, it was a very cool experience. I met a lot of amazing people. Got to do a lot of amazing things. But
So, like, okay, you graduate high school. You're still playing travel ball?
no,
Or that
so
was during high school, right?
I went to college. Still went to college. Yeah, I played for Sonoma State. Blew my arm out like my sophomore year. That's what happened. Yeah. Of course, everyone who's an aspiring athlete in this area wants to go play D2, D1. So I was one of those kids who's also like, I'm gonna play college baseball. I'm a Knox baseball player.
I'm gonna take a lifted truck, drive it straight to MLB Stadium.
Straight to Sonoma State, where the freaking San Francisco Giants themselves are gonna, draft me across from that Golden Gate, and I'm gonna make it, and I'll be put on the map. Well, yeah, different plan. My arm freaking blew out. So, yeah, I started having troubles actually like my junior, senior year. So I kind of need like going to college to try to do this. Yeah, it ain't gonna be a long haul, but let's still do it. That was actually funny enough. On the contrary, that wasn't the Josh I wanted to be. That was the one that was the facade. That was the one that was trying to impress mom and dad and everyone around here.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I want to touch back on high school Josh, because that's who I remember. This is the first time I've seen you since high school.
A little different, right?
A little bit. I mean, you didn't have as many tattoos back then.
I don't think I had any. But
But right now you seem like well, here, let me first explain. I never really talked to you in high school at all.
Yeah.
I was a grade younger than you. Different groups of friends. I was a fucking band kid. I was in drumline and shit. You were the cool guy on the baseball team.
yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest, dude. You looked like a douchebag in high school, right? which is, it's okay because that's not what I perceive you as right now.
That's incredible. I love that. I love that 100%.
Now, was this Josh inside that Josh the whole time?
Yeah, and
homo, but
absolutely. Yes, man. It was on the deepest inner part of me.
Wait, you didn't have to say it like that.
Yeah, but on the realness, yes, dude. This was kind of always what it was, and keep in mind too, like the Josh I was in high school. I was trying to be someone I wasn't, homie. Like, as much as, he's a douchebag, he's this and that, he's a cool guy. Fuck that guy, dude. If I ever saw him right now, I'd beat his ass, So it's like...
and that's the thing with people that you know in high school, like, when you meet them a couple years later down the road, once their little group of friends has broken away and they don't talk to each other.
Dude.
Like, a lot of the times, those people, deep down inside, they're fucking cool people. They were just acting dicks because everyone around them was...
Their feather, their flock. Yeah, 100%. And, like, keep in mind, I don't even got to name names, but we know who my group was at that time.
How many of those people do you still talk to? Damn.
How many of them do I follow on any social media?
Damn.
How many of them still follow me?
That's what I was going to say.
All of them. So
how many of them bought your stuff?
That's the funniest part, none. But some of them always want to text me and say, yo, how much for this and that? And I make nice shit. So it's going to be priced nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
you changed.
Dude,
yeah.
you changed, bro.
Sell out.
That's the contrary, dude.
Dude,
That's,
San Diego changed you, dude. What happened
you're so different, bro.
What happened to playing baseball on the fucking
I have
Knox
people,
field, bro? Dude, ever since you sold your truck, you've been different,
You've been different, man. I have had people tell me, like, I brought my girlfriend from Los Angeles down here, too. Or up to Modesto with me. Yeah, right? From LA up to Modesto, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's born and raised from SoCal. She doesn't know any bullshit around here or anything that goes on.
Good for her.
Here's a crazier thing. She's never seen like trees in orchards or anything.
Wow.
She's from Los Angeles. She's from the desert and city.
All you see is In and Out.
So once, no, she actually said, "Oh, you guys love your McDonald's up here," and I'm like,
We have been.
and I'm like, what? Like what? Out of everything in
were you-
Northern California, McDonald's.
You're like, babe, after every baseball game, we went to fucking In
In
and
and
Out.
out every Friday night, you know.
You don't even
So,
know.
Yeah, so she was like mesmerized by the way he even looked up here. She thought it was a
Yeah.
completely different state, but she hears it all the time. She hears people from like who will bring up one of my first girlfriends from like high school or like back when I was in high school, and they would tell her, you know, Josh used to blah blah blah, and she'd be like, why are you guys talking to me about Josh from when he was?
A child.
And I'm not even from here. I'm from Los Angeles, so she's also like, what? But I like how you brought that up because that's one of the things I don't talk about is because the other day I posted a picture of me and my Letterman, and it went 50-50. Some people were laughing their ass off at it, and some people were like, dude, you did not just post a picture of you and your Letterman. And I was like, yeah, as crazy as it seems, there's people out there that still look at me that way.
Oh, I saw that post.
And I was like, so yeah, as you're like, dude, why are you posting that? That's the point. As mind blowing as that is, that's what I deal with every day. I'm mind blown that people still think I'm that Josh. I have people who visit San Diego when I was living there who I haven't talked to in years. And keep in mind, it's San Diego. People vacay there. Hey, dude, give me all the guest lists. Hey, what are you doing? Yada, yada. Whatever. Let me kick it with Josh, right?
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, no reply, ghost, whatever it is. Like, it clicked into them like, yo, I just hit up Josh, the guy I once thought I was whatever.
Best friends.
Best friend, you name it. And then it always end with, you know, safe travels. Keep
Right.
in mind that you are now vacationing where I live. So that's
Right.
where I had to, like, let them know. And it was, like, a very big ambiance of things. Because when you start a brand, too, and when you're trying to push it, you're not trying to be the cocky asshole. You're trying to get people like you and your brand.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, my brand has a very declared message to where those who think I'm a cocky asshole, that's why the brand was made for you. And those who think I'm not a cocky asshole, the brand was made for you. So it's like...
I had a question. How'd you come up with the name? Is there anything that inspired it or?
So believe it or not, I am a very devoted religious Christian man. I just don't like the facade of it when people say, "Oh, dude, I'm perfect." We're not perfect.
Yeah.
We're all imperfect. We're all, what are we all? Sinners.
Oh, he said it. He said
Yeah.
the word.
and so the whole concept was we are in a small-minded town that's very conservative, my friends.
Very, very.
Yeah, and we all know that everyone here, as we know, who has an image of you, tends to keep that image of you. So to many here, I am that gnarly, sinning, crazy, batshit guy who goes to clubs and lives the influencer life and does yada yada. And, well, you name it, whatever. And then there's those people in San Diego who like revere me for that experience, who come to me for advice and stuff.
Right.
You know, if someone tends to mess up with me, or you know, the brand isn't 100% perfect, so I have workers, teammates, partners who they mess up every now and then. And so I'm more inclined for someone who's messed up all his life and has barely started to learn the equation to doing it right. I'm more inclined to be more accepting of people and more forgiving of people. So it's the ultimate sense of thinking like we have the bad misconception of a sinner's a sinner, this and that. They do bad, they do wrong, they sin. But in reality, through their experience in life and what they gain, they have learned to become forgiven. So they're more tending to want to forgive others. Whereas a forgiver is what? They think they have the right to even, oh, I forgive you. They think they have that power to forgive someone. Who are they in the first place? Why do they even revere you in the point of like judging or so on and so on? So it's a mixed max conception is what I'm trying to portray ultimately in a testimony in my life too, is everything I've met and everyone I've ever worked with and the people who've judged me, even from like childhood friends, Enochs, all the way up until now. And what I'm trying to portray is the sinner isn't the bad and the forgiver isn't the good. There is really like no such thing. Because in order to become a forgiver, you have had to once do what? Sin.
Right.
Yeah. So it's that's kind of what I want to go in depth about. And so like the same thing as a forgiver. I've had people come to me and say, "Hey bro, can you not put any black in your piece? And can you not mention anything about a sinner? And can you just make it forgiver? Which is inclining that, hey, dude, I don't want anything to do with the bad part of it. I want to be pure. I want to be perfect. There's nothing wrong, you know? And I'm like, dude, that's why I made the brand, for people like you, for people who think they're perfect, because no one is, man.
Yeah.
And so I know that was a very elongated version of it, but that is...
No, I like it.
That's essentially what it was about. It was a way to slam in people's face without saying, you know, obviously I knew when I went to SoCal, I proved myself. I did amazing things that most didn't. And so rather than having to proclaim that and to tell people that, I just made a brand. And how they feel about it will describe it their own selves rather than my brand having to do so.
Okay.
So...
And how do your parents, how do they react to this pretty drastic change, right?
Yeah, very drastic.
Dude, when I got, sorry to cut you off, but I just want to give because I have a couple tattoos.
Yeah.
But when, this is not my first one. These were my first ones. These are stick and pokes. But when I got this, my mom was so pissed off, dude. She said, I remember her exact words. She says,
"What the hell?
All your life I spent taking care of you so you didn't fall, get any scars, hurt yourself. Just for you to put this on your body forever." And I'm like, dude, it says mom on it. What are you mad?
This one's for you, Mom.
Now, mine aren't that extreme, but you're a little different. You look a little different.
Yeah. We're a little blasted over here. So... I love art. Obviously, I'm an artist. Aside from the clothes, I paint, I draw, I do all of it. And, like, aside from, like, it's hard. It's very hard telling people, I'm like, oh, do you own a brand? Yes, I do. But I'm a designer. I make shit. So my mom would always tell me, piggybacking off of that, is they love what I do. They kind of always knew I had this in my hands. And to even let them know, like, what the meaning and message behind it as well, they love it even more. So my mom would always tell me that growing up, when I got Legos, most kids would read the instruction manuals and build what's on the box. Apparently, when I was younger, I would have a big old box of just multiple assorted Legos, and I would freelance build stuff.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no instructions needed.
No instructions. And I'm a young kid, and I'd be waking her up at 6, 7 in the morning, like, boom, look at this giant-ass plane I made. And so she told me, dude, kid, you've always been doing stuff like this, so we always knew you'd be making stuff. But as far as the tattoos, my parents and I, but especially my mom and I, we have a very transparent relationship. There's nothing hidden from that woman, which is
I mean, they're not very easy to hide either.
Yeah, I actually had a couple of finger ones. Then I had the crown and the cross, and I think that was it, just 2. And she didn't notice them for the longest time.
Really?
And they were on my hands. So eventually, I'm like doing this deliberately in her face, and she's just like, "What?" And I'm like, "Have you not noticed?" So I showed her, and so I made a vouch from that day on. Like, every time I get a tattoo, you're gonna be the first one I tell you. I'm going to tell you at some point.
Right.
So she's seen every single one of these, or she knew about them. Most of them are dedicated in some way to her. She loves her birds. She has like a aviary.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool.
So all her birds are dedication because of so. And then flowers as well. She has her own garden. So I love my flowers.
I was going to say we were watching this documentary. I'm pretty sure it was the Lil Peep one. Was it Lil Peep who said that when he first started getting his face tattoos or his tattoos in general, he kind of did it in order to like motivate himself to not have a normal job? Or am I completely okay?
Yes.
Do you relate to that at all?
So I 100% relate to that because I got my finger tats and hand tats before honestly anything else. Mm-hmm. And I worked at Nordstrom at the time, which is kind of like what got me into making my own brand.
Right.
Was I worked in freaking Nordstrom, which is like the #1 retail in most of the country. And I was like, finger tats, you know, I gotta wear suits. If Nordstrom declines me, chances are everyone's gonna decline me. So Nordstrom actually hired me because of it.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. The manager straight looked me in the face and said, "Look at who we have on staff," which were, you know, middle-aged men. And she said, "We need You know, we need you to.
We need some fresh blood.
We need some fresh.
Yeah.
We need kids looking like you coming in, not wanting to shop with Arthur, who's 60 years old, but with Josh, who's 22 and tatted up.
Yeah.
And so I'm 25 now, by the way, so that should tell you how long ago that was. But,
Damn.
Yeah.
It's all right, bro. I turned 25 this year.
25 is a weird age, man. 25, I'm like, all my life, I'm like, I'm doing most of everyone. And at age 25, I'm like, all right, I got to start stepping it up.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I doing?
Afterburners on, yeah. So it's that's why I'm also up here, too. I was like, do I really renew a lease in SoCal? Do I go on more yachts? Do I go to more clubs? Do I do more of that bullshit? But I was like,
No,
Come
let's go
home.
back to the
Let's come
100-degree
home.
weather.
It's time to bring
yeah,
it back
let's
to the
relax.
roots.
Exactly so.
Let's go smell some orchards.
Shit.
How supportive was your girlfriend of that decision? Was she like super on board? Did it take some convincing?
So my girlfriend is my damn teammate. She's my best friend. Her and I are we're the empire. Yeah, like a hands
I
down.
like that.
Yeah, that girl's my partner. She was with me. She's seen all stages of me. When I came to San Diego, she was literally the first woman I met. And so she's seen the YouTuber partier. She's seen the Nordstrom guy in a tie making sales to people in New York calling me. She's seen it all, and she's even seen to like the point of where Nordstrom's great. I love Nordstrom. I was a stylist and I did amazing stuff with Nordstrom, but she saw that even towards the end, my time, value, and worth was not worth the Nordstrom payroll.
Right.
And so it even came to the conclusion of I started wearing my brand. I actually weaseled my way kind of at Nordstrom. I put all my personal designer and brand information on my Nordstrom business card.
Okay.
So whenever I had a client, he's like, yo, you got a card? I'm like, yes, I do, sir. And on there is everything else you want to know.
Hell yeah.
And so on top of that, I wore like Sinners at Nordstrom. And then finally, I knew this shit was coming. They pulled me aside and they're just like, all right, man, 2 things. You wear Sinners, you don't work at Nordstrom.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, shit. And so they're like, or, if you wear Sinners, then that's it,
You can wear Sinners just outside of the store.
Exactly. Because people were legit asking, like, where did you get that? Where did you get that? And you know what I tell them? Here's my card. So essentially, I was becoming Nordstrom's competitor right on the floor. And we lost the light.
It's all right.
But, yeah, it finally the day came. And I went home and I told my, it just flustered me. I remember walking off the floor that day and I was like, oh, hell no. And they were kind of weaseling me out too. It was during
Right.
COVID. They were like, oh, you got a cough. Don't come here for 10 days. And I was just like,
Yeah.
dude, I just want to work. So I was like, they knew it was coming towards an end. So finally, eventually, when I came home and I sat down with my girlfriend and I told her, like, we all love Nordstrom. We love what I'm doing, but
We can't shop there anymore.
we can't really shop there anymore, and they're treating me like shit. So what are we doing here? And then she's like, you know what? I had a homie at the time too, and I was like, the T-shirts I was,
My bad.
man, and I'm the one who took a dab. And so anyway, I finally was like, dude, we gotta do this. So at the same time, like, we're gonna piggyback this. I decided to sell my first shirts ever. 4 Sinners. I sold out in 2 days. And so that was just a big green light moment. And I told her, I said, how would you feel if I just went like full entrepreneur? Just full entrepreneur. Just quit the 9 to 5. Just no guaranteed paycheck. And she was like, do it. I was like,
That's fucking dope.
fuck yeah. So then I've always been respectful of like quitting jobs. That's always been me. Or getting fired. Shouts to Men's Warehouse.
You're like, we might lose the place we live in.
Yeah.
But
Well, actually, I upgraded.
oh,
After quitting Nordstrom, that's when I got the penthouse in downtown. And then I realized I was 5 minutes from Nordstrom rather than driving 30 minutes. And I was like, well, that was stupid.
What were you living in before?
I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. It was still a high-rise, 3rd floor. But it was right by, like, Carlsbad, San Marcos area.
Oh,
Yeah, so, like,
Carlsbad's
think
nice.
of... Sorry if this mic, but...
Fucking Legoland, bro.
Yeah, keep in mind is you got it like this. We were up here and downtown's way down here. So it was a good, like, 30, 45-minute trek of a
Right.
difference. Yeah. And it's like driving from here to kind of Livermore, essentially, or Tracy.
That's a
Okay.
fucking drive, too.
Yeah, and that
Fuck
was
that,
just
man.
the
And for
same.
work?
That was the same district, and I was doing that every day, And I was
Damn.
just like, God. And so I remember going to Nordstrom that day, and guess what I wore? I wore Sinners. And so I walked in, and I was just waiting. I was just pacing, and next thing you know, the assistant comes out, and she's like, the dude's name was Stan Keel, and if he's watching this, I do not apologize, man. St. Keel calls me into the office, and he was like, oh, looky here, it's a ghost, because he legit hasn't seen me in so many days. I've been a ghost of Nordstrom.
Right.
I was like ready to quit that place, and he just laid it on me. He's like, okay, what do you plan on doing? He said, I know this brand is your passion. I know you're doing it. Like, he was real. So I respect that. And at the same time, he's like, but if you work here, you know, you're going to have to earn your hours back and all this BS. And I was like, you know what? Let me think about it. I'll let you know. Like, let me think about it. Which was already a given decision. Dude, I go out to the floor. You know what my thinking was?
Huh.
Didn't even say bye to anyone. Just got up and disappeared. They probably went out there 30 minutes later. Even my clients probably walked in that day and were like, hey, is Josh here?
I had an appointment with Josh. Where's he at?
Oh, he should be out there. Nope. And so that was the last time I went to Nordstrom. I did not set foot in that place because, God, I love Nordstrom. So that should kind of tell you how much I love my brand and the quality of it is that I did not set foot in that place for 8 months, 7 months.
They might still be looking for you.
I think so, bro. I think so. I think this was such a cool moment, and like I hope everyone gets a moment like this at some point in their life. I had the designer department there really did not like me because as a stylist, you can sell at any department. Mm-hmm. So if Johnny wanted to come in and buy underwear from men's sportswear and buy a jacket from designer and then buy a dress from women's, I'm going with him on all of that, and I'm taking everyone's sales. Sorry, sucks, but I'm here to make money, not freaking friends. So that was designer department hate me because I just sold like an animal on the designer department. So one day I get a call from Frank from Los Angeles, and loves my brand. He calls me, he's like, yo, and I'm like, what's up? And he goes, are you cool guys here in Nordstrom? And I'm like, I don't like anyone there. And he goes, I thought so. He's all tatted up. He's cool as fuck. And he's like, I thought so. I'm like, why, bro? He said, some guys came up to me and they're like, is that Josh's brand? And so then I realized at that moment, old coworkers of mine recognized my brand on a customer. And they're probably just like, no way, dude. Josh's brand is on a dude here who's shopping in the designer department. And apparently they went up to him like, yeah, he's our homie. And my homie was like, you ain't his homie.
That's funny.
And so that was kind of the first moment I realized, okay, dude, I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
Yeah, full circle stuff is always an indication of,
You're doing something right.
you're doing.
Now,
Yeah.
I want to backtrack a little bit.
Go for
So
it.
you were already wearing some of your clothing at Nordstrom's. When did this idea, like, come to your head? Like, and when did you decide that, hey, I'm gonna make this right now?
I actually had this idea made in 2016, 17. Scrapped it 4 times. Absolutely hate it. I had an ex-girlfriend at the time who, I was a very ungrown man at the time. And I thought it was the solution to all was this brand. And she shot it out of the sky. Another reason why I love my girlfriend right now is anything I say to her, she knows it is. If I tell her the sky is going to be red tomorrow, no way in hell will it be, but she'll be like, yeah. And so she rides for me. But in my extra shot out of the sky, she's just think it was the most moronic thing of her life. And so I scrapped it again. It was honestly Nordstrom and COVID and all that happening. And I've always had the dream of owning and designing my own brand. Something. I wanted something, my own name on it. I wanted to create something. And for me, clothing and fashion is huge for me because it's one of the only industries that it makes people feel different when they're ingressed in it. I can literally bring someone in and dress them in an outfit they probably never thought they could afford or wear or whatever or look that good in, and they're walking out feeling a completely different man or woman, And so for me, that means a lot to make people feel good. I'm a giver. I really like giving. So I would like to give the essence of wanting to provide more. So Nordstrom, being at Nordstrom and it being, high-class premium clothing, when I was bored, dude, and when you had no customers because we had slow days, I'd be walking through the aisles grabbing clothes and going like this, like literally feeling fabrics. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, I could do better than this shit, you know? And so the thing that got me, like, the moment that got me, like, light bulb doing this shit was Essentials. You guys know the brand Essentials?
I've heard of it. Yeah, it sounds.
It's
familiar.
like they're like black and they have Essentials, black on black, or tan
Oh,
and they
yeah,
have
I think so,
Essentials.
yeah.
They're literally like the most plain shit you've ever seen.
Yeah.
That brand is Fear of God, and they have
I've heard of Fear of God.
they have designer clothes, which is designer market, at least a rack or above clothing, 800, 900, 2K, 3K, you name it. The linens, everything, every fabric they use is phenomenal. But they wanted to abide to all their customers, so they made a brand called, not really a brand, they made their Essentials. So it's like, if you're buying their $2,000 suit, buy the Essential t-shirt to layer underneath it.
Yeah.
Well, Fear of God didn't know that Essentials was actually going to be bigger than their actual brand.
Because more people could afford them.
Exactly. So the original Essentials didn't even have Fear of God on it. It just had Essentials on it, and it had Fear of God tag on it. It was literally labeled as their Essentials. It was like their underwear, and so it became huge. I'm talking like this is such a small quantity. We had way more than this, but I would get 40 T-shirts, and before they even hit the floor at Nordstrom, they would sell out.
Damn.
So finally, I contacted the buyer, the designer. I looked deeper into it because everyone at Nordstrom at this point realized I really loved fashion. I wasn't just trying to make money there. Like, I'm a designer. And figured out the cloth, figured out the manufacturer, figured out what they were doing. This dude was making a steal. And, like, not only that, he was talking my language. I love very minimalistic quality shit. My dream for my brand one day is to have no graphics on it. Like, kind of similar to what I'm wearing now. This T-shirt has nothing on it, but it's mine. You know?
And people know it's you.
Josh made that. Yeah, so that's my dream one day. So when I saw this guy's brand, I was, like, really inspired. I was like, dude, he's doing exactly what I wanted to do. Funny enough, he's from Sacramento, too.
Damn.
But I was like, he's doing exactly what I wanted to do. Like, this guy's nailing it. And I don't get inspired easily. I'm like, that's probably the only cocky attribute I have is I tend to think my ideas are the ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the only downfall of what I think about. But he inspired the hell out of me. So I said, okay, you know what? He's using cotton. He's using vinyl. He's using two of the most basic things to make great T-shirts. And he's selling them for about, 50, 60, 40, whatever. And his hoodies are going for 90. I made my first T-shirts look exactly like his Essentials T-shirts, which could be copyright, whatever. Sorry, Jerry. But it said black on black sinners. So it was like black with black sinners
lettering
on top. But it looked exactly like the Essentials tees.
Right.
These were the T-shirts I was wearing at Nordstrom. And everyone was asking, where you get that? And I let them know, it's my brand. It's not Essentials. Because Essentials was hitting at the time.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got one up smart and I started putting my stuff on the business cards. And then the first T-shirts I sold out of were
Nordstrom.
those ones. Yeah, exactly. And they flew. So that's when I realized I was onto something. And so I pretty much wanted to be a competitive market, but that was the whole point. I didn't come into the market saying I just want to start a brand and make money. I came into the market to be, the hottest items competitor.
Yeah.
Right out the gate. And I was selling like wildfire. And then eventually I was like, okay, I'm onto something. And that was the moment. I had a friend too. He came to me one night, and he knows I freelance stuff. And this was also a turning point. He said, the next time I'm here, I want you to have shit for sale. I'm tired of seeing stuff on the racks. I'm tired of seeing like things you just work on. The next time I'm here, I want to see shit for sale. I want to be able to buy something. And I'm just like, okay. And so I made T-shirts. And that was the turning point. That was honestly, that's what I always tell people is just do it. Just jump.
Okay.
All right. Let's fast forward a little bit. Because at this point, you're making the clothing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you still are. But let's fast forward to your first drop.
Okay.
How-
Season 1 or like the first drop ever?
The one you were telling us about downstairs before this, where you had people coming to your
Pop-ups, the screens.
your pop-ups.
Yeah.
Yes. When did you decide, I need to make this jump to do this?
To make it the next, like to start making it myself.
Yeah, to do your pop-up. What led up to the pop-up?
So in light of that, I'm a very social presence at the time. Whenever I go somewhere new or whenever I've been absent, like for example, here in Modesto or the Bay Area, I told myself coming back, I do not want people to just be like, oh, Josh is back.
Yeah.
I want people to be like,
Oh shit,
Josh is back. You know? Like, fuck. So, I told myself when I go to San Diego, I'm going to be so damn loud. I want everyone to be like, who's this new kid, you know? And so my first friends were YouTubers. I gained my literal own fan base. I could pull up my Snapchat right now. And
Do you wanna name drop them, or do you wanna keep that to yourself?
You know what? Let's name drop them only because
Do it.
their name is Buttery Films. Connor Erickson, Medium Boy, Eli Steria, Lord Tito, Randy. Those are my roommates. And honestly, dude, and I know people are going to listen to this. You guys are some great homies. We made some fabulous damn memories. We had a lot of fun. But money, chicks, and a bunch of other bullshit that comes with YouTube separated us. And I'll leave it at that because I don't want to hurt you guys too much on live. But,
Oh shit.
yeah. There's some unique gentlemen, but because of so, I have gained quite the base of following. Whether it's, you know, I always tell people too, Instagram looks good, but there's so many people I know who have so many amount of followers, and they do not have that amount of followers in person. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So you could take it as is. Some people, you know, I keep it black and white. You love me, you don't. I think if you're in the middle, that says more about you than you trying to be liked by everyone, you know? You should not be liked by everyone. Right. You should be someone's taste, and if they aren't your taste, tough luck. Don't take it offensive. So, speaking of which, when I was doing that, it's like when I was in San Diego and I was kind of portraying this whole persona of stuff, I wasn't there to be liked by everyone. Mm-hmm. I was there to make a statement. I was there to do what I was going to do. And I think a lot of people in San Diego at the time as well, and even more so, is they're shocked to see that I left. Because before even going there, I told myself it was going to be like a business stop. I gave myself a 5-year plan.
Okay.
And so in that 5 years, I grew a number of people that whether they liked me or disliked me, it did not matter. Like I was saying, the presence in person as well as social media, I'm loud in both. People are like, dude, he's so much on social media. Well, guess what? When you meet me in person. Okay, if I'm looking like I'm throwing a damn party on my story, it's not a facade. Come show up. Okay, like really not that hard. We had a viral video from some Bang Energy models. I was in my Beamer. We had them lean out of their Jeep and throw us a Bang actual energy drink mid freeway, going like 60, 70 miles an hour, while I'm driving the BMW, and my homie's out of the sunroof going, "Toss it to me." And that's Eli. That's who I'm talking about. But the point is I gained such a damn following point that when I was eventually on my own path, and I was like, you know what? And people were keeping up with, he's starting a brand. He quit Nordstrom. He's he's up to something.
He's not playing baseball anymore.
Yeah. What the fuck is he doing? You know? And then I was just like, okay, here's what I've been working on, guys. Come see my pop up.
Ta-da!
And all the clothes I've ever made recently. And so they're like, what? Well, at this too, we had my tattoo artist giving out tattoos. And then we had all my like freelance paintings I had all over the walls as well. So like for the first time ever, people were like, holy shit, Josh is an artist. Holy shit, Josh makes clothes. And so that was the wow factor.
Right.
Yeah. And I honestly did not believe how well we did that day. That was...
Now, were you telling these people before your pop-up, were you telling them like, hey, you know what, I make clothes on the side, or were you kind of keeping it to yourself till you said, you know what, I'm ready for this pop-up, time to tell everybody, hey, this is what I've been doing the past few months or year or whatever?
So I was, like I was saying, I was a pretty, loud persona when I was in San Diego. I had like my own little posse. Every night someone was at my penthouse or I was at some club or something, you know. Every night we were doing something. So the people that didn't hang out with me, yeah, it was a public announcement. I'd be like, hey, I'm a designer. I had to make clothes for a bit. But everyone that knew me were just like, dude, when the fuck are you going to do a pop-up? Like, when are you going to do something about this? Why do you have 5 racks of clothes in your house, just in your living room? And so I'd be like, you're right, dude. You're right. And so I just did it. I honestly just did it. And like being an entrepreneur too, it's a different taste of medicine. It's like, you ain't getting money. You ain't getting a paycheck. And God forbid, I am not going to be one of those, it's a different time in the world, but I did not want to be one of the people depending on unemployment,
Right.
I wanted to be still to this day, I haven't collected EDD. I refuse to, you know, because I've only been doing this for a year. So I've only been unemployed for a year. So realistically, I haven't been out of the route for that long. But
Hey, you're better than us, bro. We were living it up on EDD.
it's a thing, bro. I mean,
Hey, dude, COVID was kind of crazy.
COVID's fucked. Inflation's fucked.
COVID checks were
everything.
different, bro.
Get that stimmy. Get that ADD. Definitely in that time. I've been hesitant. I was like,
What about your stimmy? Did you get your stimmy?
definitely got the stimmies.
Yeah. What'd you do? Did you
Straight to
pour
the
that?
brand.
Yeah.
Dude, I sold my BMW for the brand. Yeah.
What were you
with that.
driving? What kind of BMW?
E92 335.
You know, I got 2 BMWs outside.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw them, but
No,
one's in the garage, one's on.
No, I didn't, man.
I can show you them later.
Trade
if
you a
want.
2006 Cobalt LS, 4-door,
I'll trade it
100,000
for
miles.
the E36 on jack stands in the garage.
Do you know what? That I had an E36, and you want to know what? It had the same life too. Jack stands.
Hey, it's. I'm just lazy, but it's coming off those jack stands here pretty soon. I promise.
Yeah, dude. We all E36 owners say that, and that was funny too. I started a brand prior before that, and you know what? We was a bunch of E36 drivers. I bought a $2,000 bucket, started building it. I was like, I'm gonna be a drifter in SoCal. I'm gonna be one of the whatever his name is who drifts professionally and famous down there. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna be one of those guys. Could not get the car started for my damn life. It was a damn lemon. And so as I'm doing this, I'm starting a brand. I have a homies who all like drive E36s. And one of the guys would always say, hey, yo, where's your 3.6? Hey, 3.6, where's your 3.6? And eventually I was like, 3.6, 3.6s, 3.6. We're a group of 3.6s. So I made a brand called 3.6s. And then it was pretty dope for a while until I realized I really want to make a brand that's called 3.6s. So just like my car died, so did that brand.
Full circle, like you
Full
said.
circle, man.
When
Full
you
circle.
when you're coming up with like ideas for like your designs, do you have like a picture in your head, an image of in your head of the person that you want to sell to specifically, or do you kind of just want your brand to be kind of loved by everyone and like anybody can relate to like what your message is?
It option 2 probably. Yeah. I could literally talk here for an hour about what the brand means because it has multiple different interpretations. It's
Right.
hard to explain it because it is. Some people write books.
Right.
Some people preach at church. Some people talk to their friends about it. Some people, be mentors. I built a brand. So that's how I'm gonna storytell.
You
it.
want to let it speak for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in case it's crazy, it's so crazy. And after doing this with you guys, I hope you guys see more of it. But each collection that comes out literally has to do with my life at that very moment. So like season 1, this is crazy. Season 1 had a bunch of numbers on it. Did you see that? Had like on the back, it said forgive, don't forget. Had some barbed wire. And no one knew at the time. But Christmas Eve around December 23rd, I was arrested. And if I had not gotten bailed out, your boy was not seeing the holidays.
Damn.
And we had a team member that was a part of the team and a part of the pop-ups and a part of, the one that watched me and do stuff every day. We had to remove her from the team and our scenario. And in retaliation, some things were said that in Southern California gets a man arrested.
Oh.
And so we got raided at 6 a.m. by SDPD.
Jesus.
ARs, the whole tidbit. It was a lot. And luckily I had a friend at the time that bailed me out. It was a ride. And the timing was our lease was up around like January 10th. So I was like, holy shit, if there wasn't a way to smack a door in your face, this is the way to do it. So then it was the apartment we lived in, the complex we lived into was very strict. So once they heard about that, we knew we were going to get slammed out. There was no way we were going to renew with them. Cops took our car because it was evidence. It was a mess.
Damn.
Obviously, if I'm here talking to you guys, I'm cleared of everything.
You're good. Yeah.
I'm A-okay. I'm cleared of everything.
Hey, what was jail like?
Dude, oh my God, I'm saying this.
Well, how long were you
So
there?
let's here. If we're on the topic of how different I am, I've seen jail about 4 or 5 times.
Oh fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a clean record, so I have a damn good lawyer, and I have a really good legal account for bails when it's bad. Because one thing I was ever told from my mentor was, as you get bigger and as you do bigger things, so do your problems.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, obviously, once I got this teammate at the time, I wasn't thinking, I wasn't even going to backstab us. I wasn't thinking, oh, dude, this person's going to try to take every penny or every possible way just because they're not part of the team anymore.
Right.
But fast forward, that collection, it had numbers on it. Barbed wire. Forgive, don't forget. Those numbers were my inmate numbers.
Oh,
that's
shit.
cool.
And the barbed wire had to indicate jail barbed wire.
Yeah.
And the phrase on the back was, I ain't ever forgiven that person, or I forgive that person, but I ain't ever forgetting it.
Yeah.
There's just no way in hell I'm ever going to forget what they did.
Yeah.
And so that shit sold out in San Diego like crazy. Because everyone who knew me and knew what was going on in my life at the moment, that was the hardest shit for them possible. So that's the best way to describe my brand is you just never know what's going to come out next.
That's dope.
I'll tell you guys this in the podcast, whoever's listening. Season 3, we'll have to do a lot with NorCal. Yeah. Well, people have not seen Redwood. We're going to make it look like Twilight.
Oh, bro, count me in.
Okay, we're going
Let
to
me
make it
know.
look like damn Twilight.
Hey,
We're going to get the fog. We're going to get the trees.
Oh, bro,
We're going to make it look as dope as possible. But beach people who have seen 90 degrees in November do not know what redwoods and fog
don't
and
understand, bro.
snow looks like. So I want people living in SoCal to be like,
Dude, what is that?
what the fuck? So that's literally what my
Dude,
goal
that's
is.
dope.
Because at the time, I want people to know, oh, Josh must be living in NorCal.
Right.
So if I look back at it 4 years from now, I want to sit, with my wife and be able to be like, oh, remember season 3? We were in NorCal at that time.
That's really cool. So
Yeah.
like each season is just gonna be like a chapter in your
It's a
life,
chapter,
and
it's a season.
that's really cool.
Yeah. One of the first collections I made was a private collection, and I had a private list of only my closest friends and family. So a random person that came up to me, let me buy a shirt. It was so hard declining a sale.
Yeah.
I'd be like, sorry, man, it's just for my closest friends and family. But each piece had a tattoo art on it.
Oh,
So people were like wearing it and be like, that's the
that's so
sickest art ever. And then we'd be like, yeah, dude, it's my homie's tattoo.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's
so they were
really
literally wearing
cool.
like
So
a
we're
piece of me.
all in that friends and family drop. Were all the pieces the same, or were
Each
they?
one on one.
So okay, so when you made them, were you like, you know what, this one is for
Mom,
This
this one's
person.
for dad. This one's for
Oh,
dude.
that's
My
dope.
my travel ball coach, which shouts out to you, Coach Nate. You're the homie.
Hey, shout out Nate.
Shout out Nate.
He called me one day and he said, I need 2 of everything. And so that was a nice little pretty penny order. And I was like, holy shit. That's
yeah.
and that's when I realized, wow, that's dope. And that's just support. When you start everything, as much as you never want to take, funds from friends and family, you just want to give them free shit.
Right.
You're gonna get that support. People just want to support you. That's their way of showing love.
And those
That's
are,
the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Those are real friends and
Yeah.
real friends and family because there's a lot of people that no matter what you do, whether it's making clothing or photography or videography or whatever, there's some people that just
They want discounts.
they want discounts or they
yeah.
they expect you to do it for free, and it's like, dude, if you're it makes me so upset when like if I have a friend that does photography and I'm like, dude, can you take these pictures for me, when you know they're damn good at what they fucking do
Yeah.
and they deserve a fucking paycheck for what they do, and they ask them for like free or like not asking for some money is money, right?
It's
But
very-
if you like, let's say somebody offers you, or if I offer the photographer, you know what, I can't pay you, but I can give you this. Like, yeah, that's fine. In my eyes, that's fine. But when you're literally asking for something for free, it's just so like disrespectful to me. It's like, dude, like you're wasting this person's time
and talent.
and talent.
Yeah. See, I had a homie at the time that would ask me to do this, do that, do this. Would never pay me shit, which I don't mind. He's a homie. That's what I do. But eventually it just came to the point where he would like literally show up and just start throwing stuff at me while I was at the dice. So, yo, sew this for me. And that's when I was like, okay, $30.
Yeah.
And he refused to pay it. He's like, really, bro, really? I'm like, yeah, dude. You know what? Let me be real with you. How much stuff have I done for you? I've done this. $30 is all I'm asking for this time.
Dude, and they get offended when you tell them that, when you throw it in their
They get
face, and it's
so
like,
offended. And funny you said that. He threw the money in my face. He went, "Here's your $30." Dude, my reaction was he got a black eye immediately after, and this is no cap. This is a pop, like no reaction, and it was just overdue, man. And that was the first time I realized, holy shit, like I'm not gonna put up with this disrespect.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it takes me 5 minutes to do, but it took me 4 years to learn. You know, and so it was like. It's crazy, too. And, like, another thing as well is because people I grew up with, they think, oh, I grew up with you, discount. Or I grew up with you, what's up, man? Let me congratulate you.
High school friends.
And it's like, dude, you're congratulating me, but I literally have not talked to you in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So
when people see you starting to, you know, to be successful or, you know,
Yeah.
whatever they think success is, right? Because everyone's perception of that is a little different. But when they see you doing a little better than you were doing, you know, a couple years before, just a bunch of people just start coming out of the woodwork like, hey.
Just suddenly want to be your friend. It's the craziest thing ever. And, like, another thing you don't know, dude, like, maybe one day you guys will have me on here again and we could talk about it again. But that was high school, dude. I had a whole ass sea of people in college that I just recently weeded out of my life. And college was something else. I was a part of a fraternity, had the ability to help found a fraternity, got to do all that. And dudes I legit thought would be, you know, lifelong friends. Turned out to be the most judgmental people of my entire life.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And it's even that, dude. It's just like, it's hard because as you were saying too, it's like, oh, dude, you had the asshole persona in high school. And people would even say now I'm an asshole now, or I look even more so worse than I did in high school. But as much as that is, people think that's a wall put up, that's just simply how I've been molded now. Like, you cannot be nice. Like, you can be nice to your loved ones. Respect is very clear and evident. Mm-hmm. It is like a bright light literally in the room that's dark. If someone's respecting to you and you're respectful to them, it is very evident of, you know, the mutuality between that. And so through the processes of, you know, growing up and doing what I was doing with the brand and stuff and people popping up out of the blue, I've been able to have the opportunity to sit there and be like, yeah, but are you respecting me now because of what I'm doing? Or are you respecting me because you actually respect me?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm very cutthroat and I burn bridges, that some people like to say. I do that left and right. But I take relish in that I do not. When I see red flag, you're gone.
Yeah, you don't take shit. That's good. That's
and because of that, my quality of life and people are, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you only want to keep the best around and the people that you know that, you know, beneficial, mutually beneficial relationships.
Exactly. Like, obviously, you're not a friend with someone to gain something from them, but they should be such on the same page as you that they want to see you grow.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, so that's my concept about people now, and I'm like, I'm in the position now where I can look at a person point blank and be like, you're either it or you're not it, and I'll be sure to let you know which one you are. But yeah,
cool. All right, so you brought some stuff for us to mess around with because you're a very hands-on person with your
I am
with your brand. Now, before we pull that out, if you could talk to, let's say, junior year Josh right now, what would you tell him?
Man, dead in the eye and tell him straight up. Number one, don't be a fucking pussy. For two, the people around you and the people you're trying to impress, including your family, will not give a shit what you do at this moment. They just want to see what's best beneficial for them. And number three, please, please, please do what makes you happy above all, no matter what.
What do you think junior year Josh would say back? You think he'd listen?
He'd hop in his lifted truck and go hang out with his girlfriend and friends and ignore everything.
Like, dude, are you almost done? I got
all
dingers
right, bro,
to hit.
let me put my Letterman back on. And I'm late to the football game, and
I'm late to In-N-Out.
But yeah, that's what I would say to him. Is everything that you think is important now is not. Don't try and impress the people you're around, and do literally whatever makes you fucking happy.
And that's what you're doing now.
Yeah.
That's so respectable because not a lot of people have the guts to take the
pursue.
risks that you've been taking and really just do what you love.
Yeah, dude, it cost me my family. My family kicked. Not a lot of people know that. They're like, "Oh, dude, Josh just got up and went to San Diego." No, my parents kicked me out, and there was
Right.
no way in hell I was gonna live in Modesto and
yeah.
not with my parents. So it was like I deuced out. But that's even a conversation on its own. I went to my parents' house at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. one night, and this was at the time they did not want me at their house. We were not on good terms. I said, I know I'm not allowed to be here, blah, blah, blah. But I need to tell you guys something. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to San Diego. Packed my shit, packed the suit, packed the sweat set, packed essentials, packed the bag. Not coming back, not looking back. They legit rolled their eyes and thought I
Damn.
was not doing that. I called my mom at work at like 9 a.m. saying, "Hey, Mom, just reached the grapevine." And she had to step out because she started bawling her eyes out. But I had to like legit let them know, like, "Yo, this is
real.
This is a new chapter. This is it." And they did not see me for the next 4 years.
Damn.
Yeah, when I brought my girlfriend home for the first time ever,
Wow. How was that?
dude. I didn't tell her. It's kind of an asshole move on me, but it was just as overwhelming as it was for me too. Was when the day I brought her home was I had to let her know, like, "Hey, by the way, this is the first time my parents are seeing me too in 4 years, but let's carry
Keep that in
on."
mind.
Yeah, but that's a gist, dude. I think back then, I don't regret the loss of life I did for trying to be something I wasn't or do something I wasn't.
Yeah.
Every kid around that age in high school learns it.
Oh yeah.
But I'm 100% very proud of the man I am now. There's people I still run to from that time, and they look at me like, "What happened to you?" And I'm over here like, "Dude, this is the good part." You know?
It's just starting to. This is a real me.
This is it. Yeah. I used to wear fucking... You saw me, dude. I used to wear pink polos and khaki shorts.
The Sperry's.
Holy shit,
Nah,
yeah.
dude, the Sperry's,
The Sperry
bro.
age was kind of crazy.
I'm over here wearing Onyx's boots and my brand. So,
That's fucking hard, bro. I
Yeah.
respect that.
I want to thank you, Josh, for being on the podcast for our first episode of the 4th season of this podcast.
fours.
Fours.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
4 is my lucky number. I got 444
Look at that.
What a
here
coincidence.
on my fingers.
We didn't even plan that out.
Those are definitely my angel numbers. But, gentlemen, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
It's been a pleasure to be able...
Any shout outs? Any
Plugs?
plugs? You want to?
Oh, man.
So many.
I'm a solo dolo type of guy.
You're gonna have to text. If you say a lot of stuff, you're gonna have to text me this stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm not even bullshitting you. There's not a lot of people that, you know. Shout out to my girlfriend.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shout out, babe. Her name's Aaliyah Zamora, Spanish queen. She's beautiful. She's amazing. But shout out to you, babe. Thanks for riding with me from the beginning of this. And we used to joke about me being on podcasts one day, and here I am.
There you go.
Shout out to Modesto, California.
Oh,
If it wasn't for all you motherfuckers, I wouldn't have been able to do this because a lot of you are small-minded and doubted me. And not only did I have something to prove to myself, I had something to come back to town with. So
Yeah.
Shout yourself
Yeah.
out too, bro. Because I mean,
Social medias. What are they?
shout yours truly. I went through it, guys. If you really know me, how about this? Shout out to whoever who really knows me. You know I love you. You know what I've been through. You know the damn logo on my head right now means more than just the logo on my head. So that's a shout out to you guys. From freaking San Diego to Los Angeles to the Bay freaking area. I love y'all. Thank you, boys.
damn.